name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I'm playing Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello. Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to see all of you once again for our Return of the Giants 5th edition campaign. Now, before we begin, for those lovely listeners on the podcast, there are two voices you will not be hearing tonight. Obviously, those of you watching on Twitch or YouTube can see the grayed out faces. We are down Simon and Jared tonight. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make it. Simon might be on later, but until... I'm going to assume that he's not at this point, and I'll play both Ember and Threign. The good news is we do have a returning voice. Obviously, those who've been watching the screens can see a lovely familiar face, looking a little bit tanned, I would even say, looking relaxed, looking very, very chilled out after his holidays. Rejoining us is Dave.
Hello, man. The holiday was full. No, it was good. It was good. Nice 2 weeks of relaxing and like a week of Chinese New Year family visiting.
Yeah.
My mum's one of 9 and her dad is one of 11. So when I say
Big family
visiting,
event.
I actually mean like it's a long day.
Yeah, you guys are almost an entire venue by yourselves.
Well,
As
no,
a family.
there's a photo. Every year they have a family gathering. Everyone under my great-grandparent. So it's like 300 or 400 people.
Goodness.
And you have partners and kids and you know, yeah, it's crazy. They do it at a person's house, so they spill it onto the street because you can do that there without a license.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Wow, I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know your parents were from such big families.
Oh no, just mum. Dad,
just your mum.
is like one of 3. So
Yeah, that's pretty standard. But yeah, wow, that's
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big family. That is, but that's got to be lovely as well, having such a large community of people. I'm imagining most of these like big ticket events tend to go off with amazing food, lots of fun banter. I'm guessing a lot of really, really good food.
So in Chinese culture, we have these things called ang bao or lei xi, and it's like the red packets where you give lucky money. And when you're younger, you just receive the red packets. Life is great.
Yeah.
Easy, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
But the second you become married, you then don't receive them, and you have to give.
So this is your first year having to give the red packets. What a rude awakening that would have been.
I brought 30 packets with me thinking it'd be enough. And I ran out. I just had to stop giving them out. Yeah.
Wow. That's rough that it's, I would have thought it'd be like 18 and like you get to bring some and you get to get 1 or 2, but no, it's just straight in like you don't get them anymore now. You have to give.
You just don't get them anymore. Yeah.
Wow. That's a band-aid.
Enjoy.
Yeah. That's really cool. Really unfortunate for you, but great for all of your nieces and nephews, I imagine.
It's lucky money, so it's fine.
Yeah. Yep. Fantastic. No, that's lovely. It is wonderful to have you back. We've obviously still had Harry around for most of the episodes because I couldn't get couldn't get Harry out of the picture quickly enough, and so Harry's only been absent for 1 episode. So
Harry is a lingerer. He really is. He just hangs around for a bit too long. You don't even notice he's there.
Look, it's been really fun playing Harry, but also kind of stressful. The same level of stress I get whenever I play a player character. So stoked I get to play as 2 tonight. It's always really fun for me, like having to try and like minimize their impact on the story, but also wanting to be as true to the character as possible. It's a tough balance. So I'm very grateful that you're back, Dave. It's very good. Fun announcements. I've got one fun announcement. For those of you who have been enjoying the Surviving the Aftermath series that I've been sort of posting up. It's coming to a close. By the time you watch this video, there'll only be 1 or 2 episodes left of that. So that game is coming to a close. I did actually finish the game a day or 2 ago while I was recording it, so we have 100%ed that. We got every achievement in the game and played through the end of all the quests. It was really, really fun. Thank you everyone who recommended I should check it out. I was asking for some recommendations for the games you'd like me to check out next, and still send those through. But I saw today a game has popped up on Steam. A demo has come out for a game that I've been keeping an eye on for a very, very long time. A game called Synergy, which is a city builder, very Studio Ghibli inspired, but sci-fi, where you arrive on a planet. I don't know too much about the context, but you arrive on a planet and you have to essentially do city build and city management on this planet and try and integrate the local resources, fauna, flora, and either work with them or try and work against them. It's a lot like The Wandering Village, which I also had a lot of fun playing, but sci-fi explorer-esque. It looks a little bit like Surviving Mars crossed with The Wandering Village is the way that I'd kind of describe it. I'm really excited. The artwork is beautiful. I can't wait to give it a go. The demo looks really, really fun, so I'll be posting some videos of that up very, very soon. At the moment, obviously, the demo doesn't have a huge amount of stuff, and they're still bug testing. Oh, hello. I can hear myself. How can I hear myself? Is it Matthias?
I can hear you twice as well.
There we go. It's all good now. They're still bug testing. Knowing my luck, I will find all of the bugs. I remember the last time I loaded up The Witcher 3 to do a bit of a casual stream, I hadn't quite got my mod load order right, and so I loaded into the first tutorial at Caermoran, and the faces weren't attached to the bodies, and so as people moved around, their faces were liquid moving around them. I always tend to find really horrific bugs in games just by accident, so if you want to see that, that's up on YouTube as a short. I had a lot of fun doing that. There's a video of me crying real tears as I watch this, because every time Vesemir lunges forwards, his face stays in position and it just goes out the back of his head. It's yeah. I did a HD texture pack for faces and I didn't put it in the right load order, and it was brutal. So quick plug for one of the YouTube shorts that always brings me joy whenever I see it. So yeah, Synergy. I'll be posting up a little poster of that very, very soon. And you'll see episodes coming for that probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That's probably the only real fun news I have to share in terms of crazy things. I'm going to be moving into the new house over this weekend, but I'll still be in this void where I sit right now for the next 2 sessions, so for Curse of Strahd and for Return of the Giants next week, because I'm also dog sitting the lovely little puppy that my parents have, and we debated whether or not we take her with us to the new place, but we're going to keep her here just because she's still very, very young, and the other place had dogs and she hasn't had all her vaccines yet, and I just want to make sure she doesn't get, everyone's shaking their heads. We all know about parvovirus in Australia. I'd rather she not get exposed to it, especially given that we had a parvovirus scare from Tom from the Curse of Strahd sessions. He had a new puppy and there was a 24-hour cycle where it looks like she might have got parvovirus. She's completely fine. It was a false positive on the screening test, but it was very, very spooky, and it has definitely, for me, it's cemented no stupid risks with a lovely little pup. So I'll still be here for the next week, but then after that, I'll be in the new setup, which means some really, really nice sound dampening. It means air conditioning, hopefully, for me, because you can't quite see it because I deliberately wear shirts that don't show the sweat too badly. But by the end of our sessions, I look like I've been swimming. It's the only way to describe that, so I'm very excited for that. And I'll do a quick tour of the new house once we're all set up too. I know a few people were asking for that on Discord, so I will do that because it'll be really fun. Yeah, that's all my fun announcements. Any other fun announcements to share?
I'm looking forward to the Welcome to My Crib video.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be a very boring MTV Cribs. It's like, hey, here's the third room, and we're done. It's just empty. I don't have enough stuff yet to put in it. And here's the kitchen where I don't have a coffee machine, but we do have a microwave, and you look at that microwave. Our coffee machine broke in the move, so now I don't have a coffee machine.
That's terrible.
It's okay. I'll look. In the grand scheme of things, having to drink instant coffee for a couple of weeks while I save up for a new coffee machine, I'll manage. It's okay. I can see, really though, it's fine. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. Most of my student years were spent drinking instant coffee. It's okay. I'll be fine. Fair. I will survive. Even if I didn't have to drink coffee at all, I'd probably still survive. It wouldn't be pleasant, but I would make it through. Get a pour over at least. What's a pour over? Is that like the plunger coffee?
No, it's like a sort of a big funnel that sits sort of on top of like your teapot or your mug or whatever. You have filter paper in it. Stick all your grinds in, and then you slowly pour the boiling water over the top of it.
Oh yeah, that makes way more sense. I'll just do that then. See, look, not even that bad.
It's
Yeah,
great.
okay. But it'll be a very boring MTV Cribs, is all I'm saying. Like, prepare to be thoroughly underwhelmed by the crib. It's going to be like, I don't own a lot of shit, so it's going to be very underwhelming. Yeah, that's the. What I'll do instead of I'll add on to the MTV Cribs the reason that we bought this house, which is like that it's quite close to the beach. I'll do a quick video of like the dogs having a run around on the beach at the dog beach at the Gold Coast, which is beautiful. So I mean that's the main reason we're there, not because the house is particularly nice. It will be once we do Sobrano, but yeah, as I said, very boring MTV Cribs. Is that still a thing? Are they still doing that show? Surely that's gone.
I'm pretty sure it stopped around the time that Pimp My Ride also stopped a long time ago.
The only thing I remember about MTV Cribs is that Tommy Tallarico lied about being on MTV Cribs a number of times. He was that sound designer who claimed that he created the Roblox oof when he in fact did not, and then just lied. And that it's like, I thoroughly recommend checking out the video by H. Bomber Guy about Tommy Tallarico, roblox.oof. It is an amazing deep dive into a man who's willing to lie about anything and everything. And like, it's an hour and 40-minute video unpacking this man's lies beginning to end. And by the end of it, you genuinely don't know what the truth is anymore. You kind of just sit there being like, what is truth? Is it a construct? Does it actually exist at all? Or can people be immensely successful and get whatever they want by just lying to every single person they meet? Because apparently they can.
A lot of shows coming out like that recently. Just as my partner's been wanting me to get me to watch this woman that tricked a bunch of companies into giving her money. This big legal case.
That was his show or something, isn't it now?
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. I love a little bit of true crime every so often. I've just started watching The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix because I'm a big Edgar Allan Poe fan, and so far I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's excellent. I'm really enjoying it. It's gruesome though, as you would expect for Edgar Allan Poe.
I do need some recommendations. I am looking for shows to watch, so I will be
Have you
noting all of these
seen
down.
Avatar yet?
I haven't.
Who has seen Avatar apart from me? Dave hasn't. Christian?
No, I am going to watch it at some point in the next couple of days. I think Jess is actually watching it at the moment. She's like, "Do you want to watch it together?" And I'm like, I've heard some mixed opinions, so I'm not. It's not going to be like a series that I need to watch with you together. We'll just watch it when we get time.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do a shameless plug. The Avatar crew, well, excluding Ali, who refused to join us, we did a little review as soon as episode 1 dropped, which you can catch on YouTube. I have updated my score, which was originally, I think, because we were asked to do a score out of 20, but I prefer a score out of 10. Roughly, after episode 1, I had I think it was about an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. By the end of the series, I was down to about a 7 out of 10. The middle really, like episode 4 in particular, I found very little to love, but they kind of got back into the pace of things and picked things up a lot towards the end. But overall, like CG stunning, world building stunning, acting mostly pretty good, occasional stories, occasional characters. I'm just like, what are you doing? Some of them,
okay.
but like most of them were pretty spot on. And particular standout for me was Sokka. I thought he was excellent. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. All of those fears were laid to rest. He was actually fantastic, and he still captured the essence of Sokka without like turning it into a caricature. I thought he did really well.
That's good to know, because I think early on a lot of people were worried that he wasn't going to convey.
No, he was great, and the kid who plays Aang was also fantastic too. General Iroh, tough shoes to fill. I thought he did a really good job. I actually really enjoyed him as Iroh. And they added a scene with him talking to Aang in the first episode when Aang gets captured by Zuko, or goes willingly with Zuko into the ship. That was really nice, and I really appreciated because it kind of gave, you got a real sense of Iroh, who he was from the very first interaction, and I really enjoyed that.
I see a bunch of memes everywhere saying that he's like, there's like Appa riding an Appa, and it's always got Iroh now. Do they refer to him as Appa in the show at all?
Yeah, they call him Appa.
Okay.
No, it's an Iroh.
Oh, do they call Iroh Appa?
Yeah. There's been a bunch of memes of like them saying that like there's 2 Appas in the show now, and then Appa riding Appa, and they've just got him continuously like blue screened over one another.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
My only interpretation of that is the internet's a weird place, and not always discernible in how they act. I don't know. I maybe I missed something major, and I've missed the opportunity to be a meme merchant. No idea. I couldn't comment. Sorry. I wish I knew more. It sounds interesting.
So I guess the question is, Liv hasn't watched Airbender.
Oh, okay.
So she has low patience. We watched one episode and then she just zoned out and couldn't keep watching.
Dang.
Would it be better to try to force her to watch the cartoon?
Oh,
or
okay.
Netflix series?
I think you'd be better off showing her the first episode of the Netflix live action if she's got low patience, mainly because the first episode of this is amazing. It's really good. And like the opening grabs you straight away. I thought it did a really good job. I would then, if she's interested in the story, try and transition her back to the animated series. If you can.
Just like 3:4 ratio and like it was
if
a
you
challenge.
can. I reckon it's worth it. I would say that, like, and there's only 8 episodes in the live action. Or 6? 8? I think there's 8. So, like, it's not too much of a commitment. Whereas, like, Airbender, there's a lot. And it is hard coming without the nostalgia as an adult for the very first time watching it. Because it is a kid's show. So you've got to have that sitting in the back of your mind. I think...
Nostalgia is a powerful thing. It's
so powerful.
It's a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
I talk to a lot of people about a lot of the franchises that I really enjoyed and still enjoy even now. But it's hard when you're trying to sell it to people that didn't really like grow up in that same vein.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends, for example, never watched Star Wars at all, and I'm like a big Star Wars fan. Obviously, I have stuff up in the walls and stuff, and it's like it's a very hard sell to give it to be like, oh, you got to watch the original trilogy. So it's classic, and like, he's just like, yeah, but
it's fantastic.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, but, like I don't have the patience, and that the CGI hasn't aged very well.
It's okay. It's aged better than some. It's fine.
It's a hard sell for some. If they weren't in that that whole thing, and I mean that's one example. There are other examples.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a hard one. I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon, Dave, start off with episode 1 of the Netflix Last Airbender, and then if she's interested in the story, I would then, like, just don't let her watch episode 4 of the Netflix one. Like, you can get up to episode 2 or 3, and then I would transition her, just whatever you do. Like, if she's going to watch the Omashu and King Boomy thing, it has to be the animated one, because
I feel
like that was almost a turn-off point for me, where I almost went, nah, this is irredeemable, and I worked through it, and I'm pleased I did.
I feel like the best thing about the Avatar series as well is like it's obviously great. Like I love it. Probably not as much as other people do. I know there are some people that are very keen. But the best thing for me is like the way it builds up, and like I feel like it's one of those shows that builds up into such a satisfying like conclusion.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it does it so well, and I think you've got to really stick it out. Like those episodes where it's like there's a little bit of character development, but there's like not a lot going on. But like when you get to like that last bit of the series,
all of season 3, all of book 3,
so good.
Every single episode hits so well.
Yeah. Seeing how how accomplished everyone's become, and like seeing how their characters have developed into who they are at the end of the series is like so satisfying.
Yeah,
it makes it worth it.
We should. I 100% agree with you. I'm just realizing that we should definitely probably start playing D&D at some point too. I was partly stalling in case Simon joined us, just so that I could then immediately hand over Ember to him. But I'd say at this point, hang on, I might have a message. I might call it at this point, and I'll say, I think it's time to play some D&D now. Dave, you said you were caught up. I've got a thorough recap anyway, which I'll read through to get us in, and we're going to be jumping straight in with Harry and Xeylin. So I will read our recap, and we will jump straight back into the session. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, and Threign are delving deep below the earth, into the Underdark, seeking to investigate rumours of stone giants taking territory and arming for war. Now accompanied by Bartholomew, an Owlin taken prisoner by the Duergar, the team are on their way to Blindenstone, the last city stronghold of the Sverfniblin. During their journey through the vast network of caverns, the team stumbled across a Myconid colony and sought respite from the many dangers of the Underdark. Agreeing to help the Myconids eliminate a village of Kuatoa posing a threat to the colony, the team travelled along the edges of the Dark Lake into a small subterranean cavern. Reaching the Kuatoa village, the party interrupted the creatures in the midst of summoning a dark octopus-like entity. The party leapt into action, breaking the magic, destroying this monster, and eliminating the Kuatoa. In the aftermath of the battle, our heroes discovered a mural at the back of the cavern depicting the very distant past of Nostea and the giants who first inhabited it. Making their way back to the Myconid Circle, the party reported their success to the 3 Myconid sovereigns, who were pleased to hear the threat posed by the Kuatoa was no more. During the course of these discussions, Lyra asks the Sovereigns to assist her in understanding the way in which their spores function, which resulted in the revelation that she has some deeper connection to the Myconids than had previously been known. Now calling her Little Sovereign, Lyra's symbiotic entity Swampy seemed to be rather acutely affected by exposure to the spores and the Myconid magic. While Harry and Xeylin planned on escaping the circle without the Shadowblades realizing, Lyra practiced her new powers, and Ember used the knowledge of the gnomes to locate the exact position of more of the caches hidden by the Society of Brilliance. Meanwhile, Bartholomew spent some time with Gook, and together they worked on making him a new amulet. Taking some downtime before they made the journey to Blindenstone, the group took this brief opportunity to catch up on sleep, while Harry and Bartholomew kept watch. However, the group once again found themselves in a giant dream, this time taking place amongst an abandoned frost giant encampment far to the north of Nostea. Awakening with this knowledge still fresh in their minds, the team finished preparations for departure. Lyra bidding farewell to her new Myconid friends, while Niles and Bart realised they had past connections of their own. Meanwhile, Ember showed off some impressive illusionary magic, taking the form of Xeylin and impressing her so much that he ended up taking her cloak as well. With the party temporarily split in two, Harry and Xeylin making their way to the surface while the rest of the group headed below, leaving the Zirkwood Forest and delving deeper into the caverns leading to Blindenstone. With the knowledge that drow assassins may well be tailing them, the team stopped to set up an ambush along the way. Revealing themselves and demanding the location of Xeylin, the drow emerged from the gloom. However, this was quickly revealed to be an illusion. While Ember tried to de-escalate the situation, Threign insulted the matron mother of the drow, kicking off a brutal fight between the party and the three assassins who had been tailing them. The combined attacks of Bart and Niles managed to knock the Shadowblade captain down and continually stun him, allowing Threign and Ember to brutalize him. Meanwhile, Bartholomew took some heavy hits from poison blades, Lyra rushing in to save him with a flaming sphere. We left off last session as the captain of the Shadowblades is decapitated, the Shadowblade mage misty steps away, and the last remaining Shadowblade is smashed by a powerful strike into the cave wall. But in fact, we're going to jump back in time a couple of hours to Harry and Xeylin. Harry, Xeylin has disguised herself as Lyra, taking on her exact appearance, using probably what you would say is the spell Disguise Self. And as she begins sort of waving off the rest of the party, she turns to you. You see them walking down, Bartholomew on top of Kong Chi, the deep gnomes riding on Threign's shoulders, while Niles, Lyra, and Ember, cautiously looking around, keeping an eye out for danger, bring up the rear of the party. As they all sort of get out of range and begin moving through into the Zirkwood Forest, Xeylin turns to you, smiles and hefts her pack up on her shoulders. Well, I think it's time we were on our way, don't you?
Yeah, I agree, Lyra. I think it is time we go.
Yes, Harry. The voice, I'm not quite doing it right. What do I need to do? A bit higher? No?
Oh yeah, a bit chirpier too. She's a pretty chirpy lass.
Is this a bit better? Do I sound a bit chirpier?
Yeah, I don't even know it's you anymore.
Great, okay, well, I'll try and be a bit more upbeat, and I'll imagine that I've lived on the surface with butterflies and rainbows and sunflowers around me at all times.
In mushrooms, yeah.
And yes, yeah, what is it with the mushroom? We'll talk about that later. All right, farewell, Myconids, she loudly proclaims, trying her best to kind of copy Lyra's voice, but I've rolled a quick performance check, and it is a total of 8, so it's not the best impersonation of Lyra. But as she begins walking along, Harry, you sort of hop along to catch up with her, and as the two of you begin making your way back up, this time, rather than following the party down the pathway through the Zirkwood Forest, following the swirling, almost like curved, rocky pathway that you originally used to arrive at the Myconid Circle, tracing your steps back up towards where the spiral tunnel that had been carved by a purple worm would lead you back to the surface. As you begin making your way along, Harry, what's your passive perception?
Passive perception is 17.
17. Okay. Harry, as you are making your way along, following with Xeylin, would you be talking to her at all? Talk me through, what would Harry's kind of general mood and affect be?
Well, I mean, here he wants to spot them again because he got praised last time he spotted them, and that made him feel good about himself. So here he's looking around, but also like, oh yeah, Lyra walks a bit bouncier. She's got a bit more of a bounce in her step.
This is ridiculous.
And just, I don't know.
Ah, yes. And she does like a half sort of skipping thing as she begins walking along.
Yeah, that's it. I guess Harry is just looking around, but also just trying to make small talk, but also not too invested in the small talk. So like, oh yeah, like they told you about the guild, yeah?
Yes, they mentioned that. Very, very exciting to talk about the guild. Sounded great.
Yeah, it's not bad. I only went for the first time just the other day. Lots of nice people, but they have lots of resources, so that's also useful.
Resources sound wonderful, and I've got this lovely card I was gifted. Oh, I'm going to treasure it always.
Harry has a bit of a chuckle at the sarcasm in her voice.
Harry, could I get you to please make me a persuasion or investigation check, your choice, if you are actively looking around?
Or investigation, okay.
Perception. Did I say persuasion? Perception or investigation check. Sorry, I don't know why I said persuasion.
That makes more sense.
If you can persuade them to emerge from the gloom. 12. Harry,
that is only a 12.
Try as you might to not get too engaged in small talk. The sight of Lyra, because she looks like Lyra right now, the sight of Lyra kind of like almost like skipping around, like a caricature of what someone would see an elf to be like, is kind of funny and kind of distracting. And like occasionally she stops, like bends down and plucks a mushroom and goes, "Oh, what a glorious example of Mushrocolia bouncerificus. One of my favorites." And then sort of sniffs it and goes, "I'll tuck this away for later," and like puts it in a pocket and then looks at you and like does like a tiny subtle thumbs up.
Yeah, Harry does like a engaged nod.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, as you guys carry along, it doesn't take too long, Harry, before you arrive at the edge of the Zirkwood Forest once again. This is near to where you had first entered into the forest to get to the Myconid Circle on your way in, and you can see the cavern opens up again onto that large, almost like domed inner section where you had actually faced off against Tim the Darrow and those other creatures that you had ambushed before, where you first met Bartholomew. As you enter into this section of the cavern, there's a sudden flash of light in front of you, this dark purple sweeping flame that leaps across the pathway in front of you, forming a barrier blocking your way forwards. Striding through it, you see a tall figure, the flames licking up across their body unaffecting. Dark purple skin, white hair held underneath what looks like a shadowy hood, keeping their face just a little bit hidden. You can see what looks like a dark elf, a drow. The clothes, the shadowed leather armor, almost has this kind of like chitinous appearance to sections of it. The chest, the shoulder pads, the greaves, the pauldrons, and the braces all have this very insect-like appearance. And as the figure strides through the flames, you watch as they hold up their left hand, upon which you can see a hand crossbow strapped to the underside of their arm. Very much like the Phantom Blade from Assassin's Creed Unity, if you have ever played that, Dave. Perfect. I knew you'd get that reference. So it's like, imagine like a hand crossbow, but like hidden underneath the wrist so that it can't be seen otherwise. And the two arms flick out as the person holds up their arm and points it towards you. A voice calls out to you. "Stop right there. You have walked far enough."
Isn't the point of the concealed blade to like use it as a concealed weapon later as a surprise?
"We will not spill the blood of the innocent unless provoked. And as we have not ascertained yet who you are, we will not fire at this moment. But know you are surrounded, and any aggressive acts will be met with swift retaliation." Where?
If Harry can like clock around?
100%. Do you want to make me one more perception or investigation check, your choice, with that context of knowing that you need to look for people?
Yeah, okay, yep. I should have asked earlier and come up with a plan with Xeylin about what to do.
21, bit better. now that you're kind of clued in to something happening, no longer the distraction of Lyra, quote unquote, being a bit of a caricature of herself, as you look around, you're pretty sure you can see up on one of the ridges at the edge of the Zirkwood Forest, right where you just walked, a bush suddenly sort of move and shake as if someone just passed through it. But you can't see anyone. You can see the foliage just shift a little bit. And over towards your left, down in a little bit of a divot as the pathway rises up, there's a little hollow section underneath. You can see these ferns have slowly started to glow with this bioluminescent, almost like a soft bluey green. You're not sure why they've suddenly started to glow.
So I spot 2 is what you're saying, apart from the one in front of me.
Apart from the one in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, there could be more, but I spot 2. Okay.
You spot 2. Well, you think you do. You spot 2 things that stand out to your perception of 21.
Harry side eyes to Lyra and taps his foot twice to try and signify that there's 2 others.
Xeylin disguised as Lyra does a very imperceptible nod of her head and turns towards, raising her hands. The staff that she's carrying, this staff that looks like Lyra's staff, she tucks behind and raises her hands and goes, oh, gosh, so sorry. We're just visitors from the surface. I'm a researcher. I really like mushrooms. I just wanted to have a look at some of the mushrooms here. I brought my rabbit friend. He also likes mushrooms to eat.
I love the shrooms.
He loves the shrooms. We're just visiting the Myconids.
Yeah,
is there anything we can help with?
We were sent down to just have a chat with the Myconids and investigate the area. Who are you?
Harry, I would love for you to roll me a deception check. I'm going to roll one for Xeylin too. The 2 of you are kind of like backing up each other's story.
25.
25, Dave!
Yep. Deceptive little bunny.
I'm going to say that, like, are you actually a little bit afraid, or is this all an act?
I mean, Harry expected all this, so I mean, it's not like it's a shock or a scare. Like, he doesn't want to combat because it's 3v2. So a scare is probably not the word. But he's probably just alert and a bit annoyed that he didn't talk about something earlier. So yeah.
I did make a point. What would you be? I was like, would you be talking to Xeylin? What would be the plan? You were like, nah, I wouldn't be paying attention to her. I was like,
nah.
Fantastic, thank you, Dave.
That's Harry. We'll just make it up as we go along.
Xeylin also rolled really well. That's a 21 from Xeylin. You are definitely the more deceptive one. And you can see as they look between the 2 of you, looking at Lyra, quote unquote, Xeylin disguised as Lyra, and then turn back towards you, Harry. You watch as the figure slowly lowers their arm for a moment and goes, Etur ear a fundar. Do you speak Elvish, Harry?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. In that case, you hear, is this a trick, little one? You watch as Xeylin disguised as Lyra sort of like shakes her head and goes, No trick. If you tell us what you want, we'll help. I have some money with me. And you watch as the drow, the woman striding forwards, just shakes her head in disgust. I do not want money.
What do you want?
You spent time.
Is she speaking English now, or
she switches back to English? Yeah. Oh well, common, I should say. Actually, no. I think she's going to stay in Elvish. So
yeah, Harry will pretend he doesn't understand.
Oh, okay, amazing. Okay. They don't seem to. They're looking between the 2 of you as if expecting maybe you'll both understand this, knowing that definitely Lyra does. You spent some time in the Myconid circle. We saw you enter, leave, many times. There is a fugitive there, one we have been hunting for some time, seeking some sort of sanctuary within the walls of the Myconid's power. Know that this person is a criminal, an enemy of the drow, and they will be found and punished. Did you see such a person within the Myconid circle?
If you guys are seeing something important, maybe speaking in common so we can help out too.
You watch as the drow woman turns towards you, but given your deception check of 25, sighs, and then repeats herself in common to you.
Oh, a fugitive?
Hang on, Lyra, do you not speak Elvish? You're an Eladrin. You do. It's a base language for you. If it's not there, it's because of a D&D Beyond glitch. You definitely speak Elvish. All Eladrin do. I'll have a look. It's a D&D Beyond glitch. If you do not have the language Elvish on your character sheet, that is because D&D Beyond has had a goof.
She grew up in a test tube. That's why.
Well, yeah, because she's technically wasn't
You would have been
Elvish,
taught.
like-
You would have been taught Elvish while in the Feywilds. There's no way the Fey would have sullied their tongues with the disgusting common language more than is absolutely necessary.
Yeah, she speaks Sylvan just fine.
Oh fuck. Okay, maybe you don't speak Elvish then. That's kind of funny. We'll have to. Okay, we'll talk about this. Yeah, we'll talk about this. Do you have Kori listed as a language on your thing? Alright, if you want to switch that to Elvish, I'm more than happy to allow you to do that. Because I'm going to say that like Kori language for you was kind of like a form of Elvish because it was you speaking to Shana.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Because there's no way an Eladrin doesn't speak Elvish. that's madness of the highest order. What about Uncommon? Do you speak Uncommon? Or Undercommon, I think it's called, is the version of it, right? Yeah, no, that's fine. The drow repeats herself in common, Harry, for you.
A fugitive? I know nothing about a fugitive. Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm also here from the Thieves Guild, and I'm here to look for rocks and gems, because I was told that I could find stock here to steal, because it's very up top, so I'm kind of came in here to investigate.
Sorry, you said you were here to steal things, so you admit you're a criminal
No.
from the surface world.
I'm here to investigate the resources that are down here in the Underdark, whether it's here in the Myconid area or outside. The Underdark isn't, you can't, the Underdark is public property.
You watch as the drow slowly raises the crossbow again and goes, "Caverns of this land belong to us. We are the sovereigns of this land, not some mushrooms. It is not free property. This is drow territory, and you are trespassing."
Well, we were actually on our way out, and I didn't find any rocks anyway.
Would you say that you have been scoping out resources? No doubt to communicate to the surface world and bring a force back to take what we have.
Well, I actually didn't find any anyway, and I can also go back and tell them the message that it's drow area and not too nice with it.
Harry, I'm going to need a persuasion check, please. As you,
It's all the truth. It's
it
all
is.
the truth,
It is the truth. Although you did just tell a bunch of drow that you were coming here to scope out their shit to go and tell the surface. 25 again,
anyway.
Harry. Oh my god, mate. So good to know.
What can I say?
Yeah,
Harry's
that is a good
popping off.
point. Harry, it makes a lot of sense for Harry to be persuasive. Xeylin, who was starting to get a bit tense, relaxes as you come up with this explanation, kind of nodding along and going, I have taken some samples of spores. I assume that is okay. I can leave them if not. Care not for mushroom spores. Shut up, rabbit. Do you swear to me? To us. And I tell you now, to break an oath in front of the Shadowblades is death. We will find you wherever you are. We will hunt you down. Those you love. You will be the last to die, we promise you that, but die you will. What did you see in the circle? Did you meet with the elf, the drow there, Xeylin?
The Myconids mentioned a visitor here. So some of my party went to go meet them, but I didn't. We didn't really stay long. She was very confrontational, so we just left. She seemed a bit of a bitch, to be honest.
You hear it. Yes, I didn't speak with the bitch either. Next to you. As Xeylin shoots you a look. There's a pause. You watch as the drow figure suddenly shimmers and vanishes, disappearing in front of your eyes, almost fading into nothingness as the purple fire disappears as well. From behind you, you hear the sound of footsteps, and as you spin, you see the same figure walking towards you. Crossbow still out, but you can see their hand is slowly moving down as they lower it. And as they stand about 30 feet away from you, you watch as the figure looks at both of you. What is your plan next?
Yeah, well, we were going to do a big up because I didn't find anything, so I need to go tell him. And I'll also tell him that it's drow territory and that you're very powerful. So I'll advise him not to mess with you. It doesn't help because we didn't find anything anyway. So yeah, I might come back down and wait for the rest of my party later, but I don't know. Maybe I'll wait for him up top. Not sure.
Your friends, they would not have been foolish enough to offer sanctuary to this criminal?
No, again, they came back pretty annoyed because she was pretty rude to them. But at the end of the day, they could be, I don't know.
You watch as the figure turns, pulling out from her pack a small, almost sort of nondescript looking black stone as she holds it up to her ear, and then whispers into it briefly.
Fuck.
And then listens to her ear again. Well, if what you say is all true, then you will not have any problems with us quickly checking for illusionary magic.
Fuck.
Rabbit?
Oh no.
Dave.
Do I know how close to me they have to be to like cast detect illusionary magic? It's something that's commonly known.
Do you have, like, I mean, you know one or two little things about magic. Do you want to roll me an Arcana check to see how much you know about detect magic or dispel magic? Because there's two spells they might be employing here. Or, I mean, they also could be employing some sort of spell that lets them see things, like some sort of sight-granting spell. 8. Harry. They probably have to touch you. That'd be right. Like, to know if it's an illusion, you just put your hand through it.
And they're blocking the exit? Or are they?
No, they've come from behind you. The exit's still in front of you.
And the other two I spotted, were they toward the exit or were they towards the inside? Because they were following
on either side of you, like perfectly in a horizontal line on either side of you. One to the left, one to the right.
Not blocking the exit.
Not blocking the exit. The exit was originally blocked by these like ghostly purple flames. That illusion has since been dispelled, as has the illusion of the drow standing in front of you. Yeah, well, I mean, you saw the magic disappeared, faded into nothingness, and there's no scorch marks on the ground, so...
Harry doesn't know enough about magic to know if Xeylin's magic will pass.
Xeylin next to you goes, "Oh, of course. Harry, you could be tested first if you wanted."
Yeah, sure. Harry steps in front of Xeylin.
Nice. As you step in front of Xeylin, could I get you please make me a dexterity saving throw as two things happen?
Oh, what? Okay.
Yeah, I just need to know what you're doing.
Dex.
You'll be pretty good at this. You're a dexterous. Saving throw, please.
I can add 4 to it if it's low.
It's a 25.
It's 25 anyways, but yeah.
Harry, suddenly you feel hands on your back trying to push you forwards. You have the option here of kind of rolling with it or spinning around and letting the person who pushed you stumble forwards.
Do I know if it was Xeylin that pushed me?
I'd say that you just stepped in front of Xeylin and immediately felt hands on your back pushing you. It's a fair guess.
Harry pushes back and whispers, "Run."
Okay, so as you spin around, I'm going to say rather than like turning around and pushing her back, the momentum, you use it to spin around and spin her and then throw her forwards, like throwing her out of the way, pulling on her, like using her existing momentum and just adding to it with a spin. As you throw her forwards, you watch as the drow who is talking to you raises their hands and clasps them together, and a pulse of magic flies out from them. Xeylin's Lyra disguise immediately just sinks away, fading into nothingness. You watch as it starts to break apart and disappear. As you throw her away, you watch as Xeylin stands up, turns around facing you and the drow, smiles, and then vanishes into mist.
Cool.
There is an immediate cry of alarm from the 3 drow who immediately begin sprinting forwards. The one who was talking to you, the woman dressed in the very chitinous armor, looks at you, throws you this filthy look, and then fires with her crossbow. Harry, at you.
Okay.
Harry does a... It's a natural fucking 1. Oh my god! What?
Harry backflips out of the way.
As you, like, keeping this momentum running, as you dart forwards, you hear the sound of the crossbow bolt, and then a sound of a click and a curse in Elvish as the string on the crossbow gets jammed in the mechanism and the bolt just clatters uselessly onto the floor. Harry, I need to know what you're doing.
Is there any traces of Xeylin?
Xeylin has into mist and seemingly... I mean, you've seen Lyra do this once before. You get the sense she's done a similar spell. She's probably had to...
Okay, gotcha. Harry will...
Which means she can't be that far. Like you've seen Lyra do this spell, and she doesn't go very far.
How close is the one that shot at me?
They were sort of about 20, 30 feet away, but if you sort of ducked and dodged underneath this, I'm happy to say you're about 40 feet away.
Could I have been closer?
Sure, you can duck and roll towards them, ducking underneath and getting within 10 feet. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to do that.
Yep.
Fuck, I think they're pretty strong, right? Harry would like to... Is it Booming Blade where they can't move afterwards?
Booming Blade.
Yes. Are we in initiative?
I'm putting us in a pseudo initiative because it's only 2 of you, so it's just you, then her, you, then her. Because the other two sprint off after Xeylin. Yes.
It's the Booming Blade with his action, and then get the hell out of dodge by running and also using his bonus action to dash as well.
Okay, fantastic. Because exactly. Make me an attack roll.
Come on, Booming Blade.
You've been rolling well tonight. I'll just need you to roll to hit. I've got the damage.
Oh, whoops.
That's okay.
Roll to hit. I'll just use an attack
Man,
with my...
that natural 1 was disappointing. That would have been...
Oh, fuck, that's a
10. Unfortunately, like, as this
20 damage.
As this drow assassin tries to reload her crossbow, her attention's focused downwards. And as you roll down and then suddenly jump up, pushing your rapier forwards, trying to spear her, she nimbly steps aside. And then the 2 of you kind of staring at each other, like within sort of 10 feet, just eyeing each other off, standing above as you sort of like looking up below with your rapier in the space where she just was. What do you want to do? You've still got bonus action movement.
Yep, I don't have to disengage because of my class, so I just run.
You just fancy footwork out of there.
60 feet.
60 feet. You just sprint off. You hear a curse from behind you. Could you please roll me a D100, Harry? She's got 2 targets. One is Xeylin, who she really, really wants. The other is you, who has pissed her off.
It's a 99.
99. Harry, you hear the sound. Yeah, hear a curse in Elvish. The spider's jaws! And then the sound of feet running away from you.
Back into the tunnel?
Away, up towards where Xeylin had fled.
Should Harry help Xeylin some more, or just cut his losses and go back in?
That's a good question.
Harry has a job, so he'll just continue that. So he'll run up as well.
Chasing after Xeylin?
Yep.
Okay. Harry, as you begin running up the pathway towards Xeylin, so this drow spends her action and movement to move 60 feet as well. You can obviously do that. Run 60 feet.
I can do 90 if I don't do an action.
What would you like to do?
I can action dash, bonus action dash, and then use my 30 to move.
Okay. Would you like to... that would close the gap. You'd be right up in her grill.
I'm trying to keep running up to catch up with Xeylin.
Oh, you're trying to run past the drow to catch up to Xeylin.
Yep.
Okay. As you begin sprinting up past the drow, as you round the corner at the top of this little rise back into the large cave network where you first fought Tim and the other monsters, You can see Xeylin just disappearing into the edge of a tunnel about, would it be 60, 70 feet away from you, disappearing around the corner. And you can see two of the assassins sprinting after her, probably only about 40 feet behind her. The drow who you had kind of like had a bit of a tussle with is now 30 feet behind you as you sprint all the way past her, 30 feet into this open cavern. The two drow who were chasing after Xeylin, as they hear the sound of your feet slapping on the floor, turn back and look at you chasing after them.
I'll just keep chasing after them.
Okay, it is not your turn, unfortunately. I'm going to put you onto a map because we need to know where things are and what's happening. And holy shit, this is not a great position to be in, Harry.
Yeah, no.
This is not exactly where you want to be.
Harry's value is that he had a job to complete, and that's what he's trying to do.
Absolutely. I'll bring you guys across the Underdark entrance. We'll bring the map up for Harry, and I'll quickly have to remove some things from the map. Just remove that.
It's kind of admirable, though. I'm impressed with Harry at the moment.
It's exceptionally admirable.
Yeah, I mean, when no one's around, he's actually admirable, and no one knows.
Exactly right. Harry,
no one's looking helps someone that is attempted murderer, as far as we're aware. People are looking, steals from children's corpses.
Yeah.
Dead children.
That makes it better. Harry, could you please click on your token and roll me initiative? I'm going to put us into initiative order at the end of this round of combat.
Did that roll?
Oh my god, that is a natural 20 for a total of 30. Holy shit.
Dude, he's ready.
Harry is really, really ready to go with this. Let me just take these guys off. And I will quickly roll for the drow. And I'll just reposition them as well in a second so they're in the right spot.
Hey, what was your subclass, Harry?
Rogue is the swashbuckler. Which gets me +7, and then the Leopines,
swashbuckler is really cool, actually.
It's one of my favorite subclasses. Alrighty, let me put on some slightly more appropriate music, and let's do this. That's pretty good. Okay, Harry, as you rush into the room, I'll just adjust your position so you are where you should be.
Oh, sorry,
it's just in front of you. Perfect. Okay. None of you guys can see this map because of the way it's worked out, so it's going to be very boring for you. Let me give you visibility on Harry's token so all of you can see this, because otherwise it's not very exciting for you guys. Alrighty. All of you should be able to see what Harry can see now.
The crew, that's all.
Ooh, yeah.
Perfect. I'll leave it zoomed into there. Okay, Harry. As you sprint on in, you can see the other two drow like pushing ahead, look back for a moment, see you, pause for a second, and then you can see them having this like conversation really quickly, like pausing for a second. You hear in Elvish, "We go after the rabbit. No, ignore the rabbit. We go after Xeylin." And the two of them begin rushing forwards. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30.
Forwards would say, okay.
Yeah, chasing after Xeylin, who's disappeared down the southern corridor. Harry, it is... not quite your go, because the drow who you ran past is going to sprint up towards you. You hear the sound of armoured footsteps clacking against the floor as she pushes through the gap between the two mushrooms with which you're standing in position. And as she gets up to you, watch as she turns to you. "You have made a grave mistake, and you are going to pay for this, rabbit." And she is going to stab at you with what looks like a very small, almost like curved blade. Harry, does a 24 hit you?
Yeah, that hits me.
I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, please.
13.
13 is not a pass. Harry, that is going to be... oh, yikes. That's going to be 9 points of piercing damage as the blade is stabbed into your side. And that is going to be 15 points of poison damage as this black ichor that is coating this blade begins leaking into your veins.
Oh. Okay.
Harry, it is your turn. Sorry, buddy.
Harry will step back.
Just step back out of the way. As you look down, you can see...
Stab. I stab back.
Oh, stab back. Go for it.
So I usually can just roll it and do the booming blade.
If you click on there should be a little yes, nice. There should be a little dice token next to the attack. You can click on it. Does everything, I think.
That's the booming blade damage. Sorry, yeah, I'll just roll the action separately. Up here.
I'm excited for this.
24 to hit.
Oh my god.
15 damage.
24 hits.
Sneak, and then +4 thunder. So.
Thunder. Yeah, thunder. Oh no, because you're past level 5 now. So yeah, you get the immediate thunder and then more thunder when they try and move. So 9 thunder when they try and step away.
Yep. So.
Oh my goodness.
That's 19 damage, and then 9 if they move.
Fantastic.
And then Harry will run 60 feet.
Oh my goodness. Trying to catch up to Xeylin.
Yep.
Brilliant. Please feel free to move yourself 60 feet.
There you go.
As you sprint forwards, catching up to the other 2 drow assassins, it is their go. As they spin around, seeing you running towards them, you watch as one of them smiles, this wicked smile, looks the other and goes, "Give me a moment. I just need to slice this little creature up." And then as it turns towards you, you watch as this drow assassin moves forward, the other one sprinting forwards into the darkness, moving 60 feet to try and catch up to Xeylin. As the other one catches in line with you, it pulls out what looks like a jagged short sword and then goes to make a strike. Harry, does a 15 hit?
No, it does not.
As the jagged short sword stabs into you, slicing against your armor, you just catch and move with it. Unable to split the skin, the damage does not hit. You take no damage from this, and you do not need to roll a con save as the poison does not enter your bloodstream. Harry, at the end of their turn, the other drow captain is going to bonus action Misty Step 30, and then rush up 30 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And as she gets in line with you, you could have walked away. You could have walked away. And then stabs you again. Harry does a... No. If a 15 doesn't hit, an 11 doesn't hit. As the blade strikes towards your ribs, you nimbly duck back, moving out of the way again. She turns towards the remaining assassin. "Go! Leave this stupid rabbit! Go after Xeylin!" And focuses
on you. Did she take the 9 damage for the booming blade?
Yes, she did. Yeah, so she misty stepped and then took the 9 damage as a result of sort of like rushing ahead. Hurry, me boy! It's your turn!
So I'm technically engaged with both of them, right?
Yes.
Yep, okay, so I'll bonus action disengage and just run my movement and use my action dash to move 60 again.
Okay, as you try and catch up to Xeylin. As you sprint forward past the next one, at this point, Harry, you can see up the corridor. This is heading towards that spiral that was heading up towards the surface. You can see Xeylin running, and as she turns around and sees you, you see this look of genuine surprise on her face as she looks back at you, sort of stumbles for a bit and goes, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm taking you to the guild.
You're leading them on my tail? Run in a different direction, you idiot.
No, I'm slowing them down.
She shakes her head and keeps running up the spiral, trying to get away. Alrighty. Harry, anything else on your turn? I think that's it. Bonus action.
Harry wants to look around and see if there's a different direction he can run at this point.
Yeah, the tunnel here does seem to split what looks like over along a narrow crevice. Can't quite see what's on the other side, but it does look like it opens back up again. A lot higher up than where you were before. Maybe on a pathway that looks down over the Zirkwood Forest, potentially.
Okay. Xeylin has their business card. If Xeylin wants to go to the guild, she can go to the guild. Okay, Harry will try to divert and run the other way.
Alrighty.
On his turn.
Yeah, as you slightly sort of angle direction, the remaining drow begin rushing up. The one who's right next to you, hearing Xeylin say this, smiles, laughs, ignores you, and begins rushing after Xeylin. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and they run 60 feet. So they begin sprinting after Xeylin, disappearing into the gloom. The 2 behind you rush forward. I may as well do them all together because they're all after you. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As they rush forwards, seeing their companions sort of moving up, both of them clock you. The drow who'd been ordered, the assassin sort of in the less extravagant armor, who'd been ordered to ignore you and rush after Xeylin, continues running. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, rushing up, sort of keeping a bit of a wide berth and away from you. The drow with the chitinous armor, the woman, glares at you with hate in her eyes. Just shakes her head, lowers her crossbow, and fires another shot at you. That is going to be a 26.
Yeah, I can't dodge that.
That is going to be... Oh my god, that is bad damage. That's going to be 5 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And I only rolled... So this one with the crossbow, it's not a... I do need a con save, but it's not the extra poison damage. So I will need a con save, but it's just the poison condition.
That's a 4.
You are now poisoned. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks for 1 hour. Sorry, was that a 4?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I've got some really bad news for you. If you fail by 5 or more, the DC is 13. Harry, as the poison burns into your system, that is the last thing your conscious mind recognizes as you immediately fall unconscious.
Oh!
No.
Side quest, getting Harry from prison.
Hey guys, what are you guys doing here?
Harry, the last thing you remember is this tiny, almost insignificant burning pain in your side. And as you look down, you see this tiny little arrow sticking out of you. And as you pull it free, you think, oh, that's nothing. And then your vision begins to grow wobbly and you find yourself sort of blinking. And as you look up at the drow, she shakes her head and begins moving towards you. And that's the last thing you remember before you fall unconscious.
Harry has Bugs Bunny style, sees Tweety like spinning around above his head.
And then falls unconscious. Harry. Okay. Let's jump back to the others. Harry, it's been great to have you, Dave. It's lovely to have you here.
Welcome back.
Always lovely to have you come and join us. Yeah, look, I hope you've enjoyed your session back. That was your session back. That's it. Oh, mate, we're gonna have a talk off stream, you and I, about this. This is not ideal. Yeah, that was a bad con save. You don't have an inspiration or anything you could spend?
I didn't keep track of my inspirations. So
then no, you do not have it. He definitely does.
I don't know if you know for sure. But...
Harry, unfortunately, if you don't keep track of it,
yep,
unfortunately,
100%.
It's not there.
You missed your triggers if this is a MTG reference.
Sorry, mate.
Wow.
As you fall unconscious, your mind fading into darkness, the last thing you remember, Harry, is this sudden moment of fear. Fear that your companions don't know where you are. Fear that no one knows which way you took to get to the surface.
And this is why I took his fucking hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Jumping back with the rest of the group, Threign slowly shrinks back down into his normal Goliath size. The decapitated body of the Shadowblade captain at his feet as he kicks the body away. He turns towards the rest of you, laughing heartily. Good fight. Very good fights. I much enjoy.
I'm already mid-shout to Threign and his sort of like self-imposed victory as I shout for him and Niles to come over and hold the body down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like cutting into his victory as he's like talking to himself, like, hurry up, Threign, quick!
Threign
Bartholomew, what do you need?
It was really difficult for me to stay as angry as I was as last week, as I had so much time to sort of calm down and think things through. So I'm trying to get back into
mindset.
ADHD, zero thoughts, more action. So I'm just gonna shout at you guys to hold him down. And I think the last thing I'd mentioned was you don't get to end things this easily.
And you were trying. So this is after you'd smashed him against the wall. You were going to try and pump in. I believe it was it a lay on hands you were going to try and do to bring him back?
Yeah, you're going to try and keep him
A
alive.
single hit point to bring him back up if he was unconscious.
Alrighty. I am going to get you to roll me a D100, please. I want to see if this over hit, because you did more than what was required to lethal him. I want to see what his life is looking like. Matt.
Niles is also going to just watch this. He runs to a distance where he's like nearby and just kind of takes this in a little. That's a 6.
That's a 6. As you feel the magic welling within you, Bartholomew, as you begin urging it, pushing against it, trying to send that wave of healing magic, divine energy into this body. Niles and Threign, you begin rushing up. Ember not too far behind. You watch as Ember slowly pushes down the plant life from plant growth, allowing the spell to end and removing the difficult terrain before rushing over to assist as well. As you all arrive around the body of this Shadowblade, you feel that energy within you dream. But it's just not enough. This corpse, just too late. Too much damage, and just a bit too late.
As I guess whoever does arrive first out of Threign or Niles, or and Matt, you said you're sort of Niles is more so just sitting and watching, like not actually coming.
I think Niles is probably just taking in this moment. He's probably quite nearby, but he's probably just watching this unfold as he's arriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as Threign hopefully comes over,
Probably come. Threign would probably come like a little bit. After. Sorry.
Realizing that it's not working and that they're sort of just holding down a dead body, frustratingly, probably not even say anything. Just, never mind.
Threign looks at you, goes, "Well, what you want? What you want from body?" He picks up and shakes it a bit. You wanted to talk?
Yes, I guess so. I just.
Lyra can make talk. Remember? She make corpse talk in Cache.
He didn't actually talk. He just reanimated.
No,
Yeah.
but
Funny enough, still can't talk.
he can, actually.
I heard him with the researcher, Hornswallow.
Yes.
Who cast that spell?
I don't believe it was Hornswallow. Anyway, that's beside the point.
Sorry, that felt like a very Threign thing to say.
It's a very Threign thing to say, yeah.
I'm going to stand up and, with Threign sort of prompting this idea.
Just holding the corpse by the scruff of the neck in front of you, Bartholomew.
Yeah, I'm glad because Christian had been wanting to use this and was a segue, I guess. I'm going to walk away from that one with Threign's sort of idea in my mind and approach the head of the leader instead.
Okay.
Now, question. Did the leader see me? Because he saw the guys down at the fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know, right? Like, you definitely made an attack against him, but you're not sure whether or not he got a good look at you, how much of you he might have seen, how well he might be able to recognize you. Hard to say.
Okay. Well, either way, with Threign's idea, I'm going to pop the head on a rock upright, and I guess place one of my clawy hands against the blackish metal, I think it was,
Yep.
of my chest piece.
As you feel the energy begin to swirl around you, your eyes take on this almost greenish glow, the runes carving themselves into the air around the head, and you watch as the head shudders for a moment, and then the eyes begin to glow with that same greenish light. And you hear this, and the mouth begins sort of moving, clicking against the rock.
I'll look back to the rest of the entourage. Well, we need questions.
There's a quiet pause. You watch as Ember kind of scratches his head and goes, should we ask and he realizes what he's doing and then moves a little bit further away from the head.
Yeah.
Lowers his voice a bit.
Yeah.
Should we ask what Xeylin did?
I was just thinking that might be a good thing. Well, but don't we know that? Didn't Xeylin kill?
That's what infuriated me. He could have been lying. That is a very good point. Head, Captain, whoever you once were in life. Who, you mentioned the crime. Who did Xeylin murder?
Everask, son of the matron mother. I'll type it in chat so you got the exact spell.
That's a good idea.
Can Lyra whisper to Bart, just so that like the head can't hear or take it like as a question?
Yeah.
Like we could probably ask, where is your settlement, or where is like the matron's settlement?
Would
avoid or to go?
The matrons are a pretty sort of exclusive group, I guess is the best way to put it. I guess, again, more Underdark knowledge would, just like the name of Blindenstone, probably heard from like maybe the Duragar bitching about them. Would Bart have heard about a certain city of spiders?
Yeah, could I get you to roll me a history check, and that will determine how much you get? Because there's a couple of drow enclaves that you might have heard mentioned. Seven. There is one drow enclave that you have heard mentioned. Let me rephrase that. You would have heard that there are a couple of drow enclaves. The Duragar would have referred to the fucking dark pointies, and their sort of walled settlements hidden away in various parts of the Underdark. But the enclave in particular that they would have spoken about, given your question specifically about spiders as well, they would have spoken about some Lolthsworn only like fairly recently, just before you escaped, and a raid that had been carried out by the Lolthsworn on the Duragar forges. The Duragar don't know exactly where they're coming from, but they know that they are near the edge of the western shore of the Dark Lake, somewhere around that area.
Okay, I was just wondering with Lyra's question if there was a name of a place that I could be like, hey, like where is this place? Head, Captain. Where is this matron mother from?
From the Enclave. Lolth's Embrace. I'm not a dick. I know it says that they can be brief and cryptic, but I'm not a complete tool. I do generally like to give some information with Speak With.
I know.
Yeah, Lolth's Embrace. The Enclave, Lolth's Embrace.
Having a moment or two to calm down, one thought that does come into Bart's mind for a brief moment, which makes him annoyed because he wanted to hate them, just like the Duragar and how they made decisions for Bart and captured him even though he had done nothing wrong. These people saying that she's a criminal and has done all these things despite the dark things that he's heard about drow, like hypocritical pieces of shit. They did attack us out of love, the love for their matron when Threign insulted her.
Yeah, it was instantaneous. Yeah. The second Threign spoke ill against the matron, that was when they attacked. I would almost say, Bartholomew, do you want to roll me a quick insight check to see? Because you were watching, you were deliberately trying to keep an eye out for what they were doing. Do you want to roll a quick insight check to see what you can glean in this sort of post-battle moment out of the stress? 18. You get the sense they were a bit reticent to attack until the matron mother had been insulted. They were trying to get information. They were willing to threaten, and you don't get the sense they were threats made lightly. But
see, that is something that's on Bart's mind as a question for himself. He's heard all these things about Lolthsworn beings no different to basically just civilized orcs or goblins, very barbaric entities that just attack anyone.
Probably what you've heard about the Lothsworn from the Duergar would be very slightly skewed. The Duergar see them as these brutal, deadly killers who come and raid.
But that's the point. Like, them not wanting to kill us has really tripped Bartholomew up. Why did you not just kill on sight?
Needed to know which one was Xeylin. Orders to kill Xeylin.
Oh, sorry, he wouldn't say kill.
Orders to retrieve Xeylin.
Sorry, he wouldn't have said kill.
Okay, because that makes more sense. Why they were being so hesitant to slit throats.
You got one more question.
I sigh a little bit at that.
Do I have two more? One more?
You've asked 4 questions so far.
What was the fourth one? Because I've got the matron's son, I've got Loth's embrace, and I've got orders to retrieve Xeylin.
Oh yeah. Why did I think there was a fourth one? I think. Oh, I think because you'd asked about That was answering a question not from the head. Sorry, I was answering a question for what Dream knew. That's why I thought there was a fourth one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you got 2 left. Sorry, my bad.
Just want to see if I had fucked up with
No, because you'd done a history check and I answered that one, so I was keeping track. But that was a history check, not a head. Yeah, you got 2 more questions for the head.
I'll again, I guess, look back towards everyone. As I'm looking towards everyone and sort of give them all like a shrug.
Maybe we should ask Head why so weak. Threign says as he looks at the head and looks back at you and gives a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I have a question actually. But I just maybe get the facts right first. Xeylin said that she'd been waiting at the Myconid colony for how long? Was it 50 years? Did I hear that correctly? It's a long time, wasn't it?
Christian's forgot, so I'm just going to pretend that Bart's forgot. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I'm happy to answer this because that was a conversation that happened a while ago in real life, but not very long ago for your characters. She said she'd been on the run for 50 years, not that she'd been in the Myconid circle for 50 years. But well, she said time's hard to track in the Underdark, but
sure.
It felt like it had been 50 years she'd been on the run.
Okay. Yeah, that was good because I guess Niles is thinking about whether or not to ask like how long.
She really didn't get far for 50 years.
Well, that's the question. How far did she travel before finally coming here?
Yeah.
And you don't know where these guys have come from. They might be from very, very far away as well.
Actually, that's a good question. Maybe at that sort of revelation, Niles sort of perks up and goes, maybe we could ask the head there how far away their enclave is.
This Loth's embrace they mentioned.
So we can steer clear. Or go there if we need to.
Rather than... I don't see a need for us needing to go there, but you do bring up a good point of information of geography and topography.
Yes.
Why not help us with the future? We'd heard of an attack. Head. One who loved your matron mothers and died defending her. I understand that love. What do you know of raids on Blindenstone?
Duergar takes slaves from Blindenstone. No threat to drow.
Seems like the drow are separate then in their activities.
Well, if there's no threat seen, I don't feel like this might be the obsidian Duergar that took me. He was strong, and it sounds as if the giants were not with them.
I might be a bit more specific with the head's comment.
Blindenstone, no threat to drow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe of no interest. Maybe Blindenstone of no interest would be an even better way to sum that up.
Whispering this to Bart again, so not to ask the head directly, what do you plan on doing with Xeylin once you retrieve her? Or where the other scouts are, is all I was thinking.
That That's a good question. I was thinking that. Would she await trial? Would she be executed? Seems like a rather laborious task to bring them back, and only to have them. Well, that goes against what I was understood to know about the drow. It seems rather civil.
To avoid metagaming, I think Bart would probably whisper back to you, Lyra. Does it really matter what they do to her if they don't get her? Right now, survival is more important. Maybe we should ask how many assassins were sent.
Or where. Or both.
Good question. Ask away.
I'll see if I can riz up the head a little bit.
Riz up the head. Let's go.
You hunt Xeylin again from love. We may be able to complete this hunt that you did not in life. Obviously, you cannot give information to the rest of your entourage now that you have passed on. Who is someone in your group I can speak to?
Good question. Okay. I'm gonna have to roll for this. I want to see what the head thinks.
Yeah?
Because it's like, it's not really thinking per se, but let me just do a custom dice roll. I need to, okay. Okay.
Droga, she will listen.
I'm going to need that in the chat.
I'll type it.
Okay. Droga. D-R-O-G-A-R?
Droka. D-R-O-K-A-R.
Oh, okay.
So close.
So close.
Droga, Roka, my brother. Droga will talk.
That's it.
Female. Okay.
Love me a bit of...
And I guess with that, the head...
and then falls backwards off the rock. There was one point where, like, technically something you asked when you're doing that rizzing up the head could have technically been interpreted as a question, and I was almost was like, no! And fall backwards. So, it's a dick move. With that, the head... and the magic fades away, the light going from the eyes.
With, I guess, Lyra, like, right beside me. Like, I guess that went well. If we can get this information to Harry and Xeylin, this Drogar, maybe we can use the reason. I guess not the reason. We now know stuff about them, just like they know about us. A good bartering chip.
That's true.
Do we go back and try and find Harry?
Harry said he was going to come and find us.
Did you give an indication as to when? How long it would take?
I don't want to fuck with Dave here, but that is what was told to us.
To be fair, though, that's when I was in charge of the character. So, Harry, would you have told the players that you would... Would Harry have told them that...
Harry would have been confident. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Because I specifically had asked...
No one expected them to be able to communicate between groups.
Yeah, I'd asked, how are you going to find us again? And in the very confident sort of just like...
I'm pretty clever. I'll find my way.
And I was like, in the Underdark? Yeah.
That's exactly what Harry would have said.
As you're having this discussion, Ember, having watched the head do its talk, leans over and begins sort of like looking through the pockets of the body. Ember's generally been pretty consistent in looting and shooting, so I think Ember would...
I was just going to ask, I'm like, normally we'd ask Harry to do this. Is anyone good at finding shit on bodies?
Oh, Ember! Oh, look at you go! Wow.
Just seeing what they've got in their pockets. I always like to find out what people have in their pockets. You know how it is. I'll roll...
I don't, but okay.
Did you guys ever play that game back at the birdcage?
Loot the corpse on the ground.
No. What have you got in your pockets? It's like a riddle game.
Yeah, well, we played Put Pocket.
Ember, did you just say the birdcage?
I don't know. Isn't that where you guys are from? What do you call it?
That's slightly offensive, I think.
Oh well, I mean, next time you say where I'm from the Ashlands, I'll throw that back in your face.
If she can, Lyra might try and help Ember like loot these bodies, holding up arms to expose pockets so they can get in there.
Only thing I can hear when anyone says loot that body is the song by that incredible Australian artist, Loot That Body. Have you guys not seen this? I have to share it. It's amazing.
No,
Bard will sigh and remember the, I guess, teachings of his family, especially his dad, of like waste not, want not, very monkish lifestyles, and we'll go over and try to grab the largest looking crossbow they have. I know there were some hand ones. I'm not sure if there was some light or heavies. I don't fully remember.
All hand crossbows.
Okay, I will grab one hand crossbow. As at the moment, I have no forms of ranged attacks, and which was something that I was worried about back on the bridge when I thought we were about to be ambushed.
Something that the drow do have that Ember pulls out. So if you're giving advantage to Ember, Lyra, that's actually going to be a much better roll. Is that what you're doing? I think I heard you say you were giving advantage. You were giving the help action. That's a 17 as Ember begins turning out their pockets. I mean, Ember piles up a small collection of various items on the ground, including Bartholomew, what looks like a collection of 8 darts as well, all of which seem to be tipped with some sort of poison, which he sort of like puts down on the ground and goes, don't touch them. The tip. Shafts, do whatever you want, but I wouldn't touch the tip. That looks nasty.
Just checking, darts, not bolts. These are for like a blue gun?
Darts to throw, like throwing darts like a monk would use.
Okay, I was about to say I'm not the best at aiming with things. I'm simply grabbing the hand crossbows so I don't feel so helpless if something is, I don't know, catching us from above or in the air. As a once-winged creature, I know how deadly aerial combat can be, or ranged combat.
Yes.
Do you know what? I'm going to even retexture these. They're going to use the D&D dart, but they're basically like a small shuriken. Like a small kite and a shuriken with poison on the blades. I know, I knew Niles would be very keen on them.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
Hopefully it's not too damaged, but Bart will take a look down. He doesn't like the idea of taking too much from the dead, especially from like stripping their corpses. What armor are they wearing?
Yeah, so the chitinous armor that they're wearing looks like a chitinous breastplate, and you can see as well that there are these greaves and pauldrons and braces which look to complete the set. It definitely looks like some sort of medium armor, and as you tap it with your claw, Bartholomew, this looks like it would give a fair bit of protection.
I don't think it's going to be too much better as I take a look at it to the enchanted gloom forge that I've got, especially the story that it had, but I will mention to the group as Ember and Lyra are looking over all of it. The kites in this, we're heading to Blindenstone. Noose.
You watch as the gnome sort of like looking out from behind the mushroom, seeing you do this magic and making a head talk, kept their distance. And then now that that's all kind of wrapping up and you're looting the body, you watch as the gnomes begin to sort of move out and look around, like fearfully going, one of them got away, right?
There's not much we can do on our side. I could chase with Kongchi, but I don't trust traveling alone.
Either. Yeah, that'd be best. Your question, Vlad?
Do you think this would catch a bit of a price with any of the traders in Blindenstone? And I'll point to the armor sets of the 2 that we did take out.
It's a wee bit big for most of us, but I mean we could probably rework some of the carapace that they use. It's an insect carapace.
Lyra?
They cut in.
I was gonna say, so I remember Ember and I, because like I'm assuming that our breastplates are quite similar looking, sort of to the drow stuff.
Yeah, because you have lobster breastplates that you bought from the port side. Yeah. Giant lobster breastplates. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, the other sort of bits of the armor set, like, does that sort of look like something that druids would be interested in?
There's not a piece of metal on it, so I mean,
yeah, like, I mean, if we've got 2 sets, like, I might, sort of looking around at the others, see if anyone else sort of shows any interest. But other than that, she might divvy it up between Ember and herself, and when Harry gets back, like, she'll sort of consider sharing is caring.
Bart will bring up as I guess it's the first time that we've needed to focus about it. The cave people sort of just handled their own deals. Same at the fish. As Lyra asks and sort of holds it up, Bart will respond. How do you guys actually divvy up I've heard adventurers have the golden skull in the temples that they find, treasures and things like that. Do you, in your Tempest Guild contract, have a clause on, I guess, shares? How does this work? I'm fine with it being traded to druids if they're more likely to give some form of compensation, but as a group, is there a pre-organized arrangement?
Well, as per the Tempest Guild rules and regulations, any loot that is found can be either taken by individuals, or we can take it back to the surface, and it can be used to bolster the Tempest Guild's own armory, or if it's sold on, and then that coin is put towards a treasury that can be distributed across the guild.
Well, coin for
or
us.
used to fund your adventures further, but generally any leftover is given back to the guild. But as you're not a guild member, I mean, you're not currently a guild member. I'm
sure that would be an issue. Semantics.
Yeah, I know. If you want to join, but I mean if you decide not to. Oh, well, that's not an issue then. I was going to say, otherwise Mira would probably figure something out for you as compensation.
Okay, well, the reason I mention is obviously with races down here, I especially remember between the slaves, very minimal in the forms of resources managed to make it through. Trading between the other prisoners was a high currency. Duragar guards being paid off. Being able to trade this for coin or rations or anything could prove useful, but I didn't know how we would lay claim or divide it up. I figured if I'm going to be traveling with you for a bit, maybe joining in the future, if you'll take me.
An honorary member.
Yeah, an honorary member.
An intern, unpaid.
How do you guys organize that distribution? Is it the Threign, the last person to lay the killing blow, or is this just an equal split?
Oh, whoever needs it.
Yeah, if you can use it and you can get good use out of it, then it will generally go to that person.
Okay.
But other than that, gold and other resources are just sort of shared amongst us as need be.
Okay, which is Threign hefts his axe, looking down and goes, no, I lay the killing blow, that is my kill. I kid. You're so serious. Look at your faces.
We might have a bit of trouble putting this bit of armor on, though, Threign.
I don't care about armor. I was kidding. Look at your faces was great.
Okay, exactly. Well, I guess in that case, yes, if you and Ember can find more likely buyers, and we can then split it after that, I have no problems. And I
was going to say we're going to wear them.
Oh, yes.
She's already taken off her boots.
She's already putting it on. Fit.
Yeah. Lyra, as you add the extra chitinous, because at the moment you're just wearing the breastplate made of the lobster chitinous, you add on the pauldrons, as you add on the braces and the greaves. I mean, you've got this bright red cooked lobster chest piece, because I think you had the bright red one. No, Ember had the bright red one. You had the bluey grey one.
The black one.
Yeah, the blue. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, for a second I thought you had the bright red one, but no, Ember's walking around in the cooked one, as he's got this bright red chest piece.
Transmog.
Yeah. As Ember slides on these quiet black, this shadowed black insect chitin, and looks at them and then looks down at his breastplate. He goes, "I'm not matching. It's not matching."
If you heat, oh wait, no, it's already been heated.
Oh, I think it's still pretty cool though.
I need some paint. I need to be hot. Cool's the opposite of what I'm going for.
Oh.
Wait, are these pieces the same kind of piece where if you heat them they'll turn red as well?
You watch as Ember looks down at one of the shattered boots, conjures a bit of flame in his hand, and then goes and begins heating it up. You watch as it doesn't glow red hot. It just eventually starts to blacken and crisp and then crack. And Ember sort of pulls the flame away, doing produce flame. Goes, yeah, no.
Does that mean we're going to sell your spares then? Matching gear?
I'm going to keep it for the moment, but then when we get somewhere, yeah, I might trade it in. We'll see how I feel. But I mean,
okay.
I feel.
Do they have as you two are down there already, any instructions on them?
was going to say there's more things Ember pulls out of the pockets, but we got a bit sidetracked with the armor. Lyra, as you put on the armor, this doesn't seem to be any more protective than your current breastplate. It's not that the armor's not doing extra. It's providing a wider array of protection across your body, but your breastplate is already providing a good amount of protection for you. However, if you were to take this back to the guilds, particularly to your Tabaxi blacksmith, or maybe Griswold, your enchanter, there might be some things they could do with these. I mean, this is definitely a rare material that, for the surface, that Howls under the earth might have a lot of fun with.
Pretty foreign, you know.
Yeah, and Howls did say, if you come across any unique items, bring them back, and I'll have a bit of a play around and bring out the best possible attributes of them. As Ember sort of begins.
Emerald and a ruby or something.
Yeah, there were some enchanting requirements if you were able to get some, because you had asked for a list of magic items for Griswold to get started on, and there were some items that Griswold needed you to collect. But I think you've actually picked up one of them already in your bag of holding. I think you have one of the gemstones that was required. I think you have, yeah. Oh well, we'll see, because Harry the merchant had a few things on him.
Oh.
They're still there. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah, Harry's fine.
What else did Ember find? Did he manage to find a stone of some form?
As Ember begins rifling through the pockets, he does indeed pull out a small blackish grey stone, flecks of kind of like purple veins running through it, along with what looks like a bag full of these very strange looking gold coins, a mixture of gold and silver coins, which look very unfamiliar to you, but you do get the sense would be probably drow currency. You can see stamped with the spider on one side and then this face on the other, very sharp angular face, and instead of hair there's just a multitude of what look like spider's legs coming out the back of her head, sort of like down around her shoulders, almost like a Medusa but with spider's legs. There are 27 gold pieces and 13 silver pieces in the pouch, as well as this small grey stone. There's also various other like common items, sleeping roll. You can see some supplies, a cooking pot. It looks like they have like a very small pot used to boil water. It looks like he was carrying around like a minimal amount of stuff so it wouldn't clank, but still has enough that if he needed to go off for a couple of days, he'd be able to survive in the Underdark.
Some 2-minute noodles, yep.
Well, it's funny you mention that. What looks like a leather pouch filled with this dried, almost like shaggy scraps of this strange material, when you sniff them, have a very kind of like almost acrid but woody smell.
I'll grab those, please. I really have nothing still. Some food would be nice just in case we get separated.
I like the look of those metal, almost look like throwing darts, but unique. Very interesting.
How many days of rations, as I grab the little pouch, does that contain?
3 days of rations. I'm going to say that off the bat, but at the moment it looks like only like 1, but Bartholomew, as you experiment with it, if you add water, whatever these are seem to be dried, they sort of like fluff back up again and are a bit more hearty than what they look like. They look to be dried slivers of some sort of protein-like substance.
Drow army food.
Drow army food, yeah. MREs.
MREs.
Drow MREs.
Ready to eat.
Not mushrooms.
I look at these unique darts.
Yeah, there's 8 of them total.
Wow. Okay. I kind of look over it at Lyra and say, Lyra, how much do you know about drow poison? Do you know anything about that? Heard about
Absolutely
it before?
Nothing.
I can tell you that it's fucking
poison.
painful. Those blades were horrible.
As you look at Dream's body, you can still see black veins at the side of that cut. His side.
Bartholomew, are you okay? Oh, I didn't even notice. My apologies.
I've taken off of my character sheet, but as Niles comes over, I'm going to start touching some of the wounds, and I'm going to consume 20 of my lay on hands.
Oh, good.
And start slowly sort of gliding like a radiant hand across some of the wounds. Well, I don't know what's happened with these powers that I've been gaining, but it's definitely helpful at the moment. I nearly died back there. Holy shit.
Oh, I shouldn't have left you up there. I went down to tackle him, and I left you up there, and then... Oh, Goodness.
No, it's fine. We all have different parts to play. Luckily, Lyra actually managed to come up and really came in clutch there. Thank you.
Good.
For that.
Oh, well done, Lyra. Excellent.
That being said, though, I don't want us to get jumped again while we're hurt and injured by some sort of hungry beast.
No, especially since one of them got away, and from what I've heard of the Underdark, I think we're kind of sitting out in the open here. I don't like the look of this.
I'm going to use a channel divinity to... sorry.
I was going to say he watches one of the deep gnomes, Gook, sort of blinding her eyes against the sunlight, which has just started to fade, nods and goes,
"Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, that flash of light was pretty bright. That was great, by the way, really good. But it would have been visible, like very far away. Just as an FYI."
I'm going to use Channel Divinity to get a second level spell slot back, and then I'm going to use it instantly and cast Aid, and just for the next 8 hours, increasing the hit point maximum by 5 for me, Niles, and Threign. The same, frontliners, I think. We'll do that.
Hey, nice.
Oh, your magic is good. I feel like 10% more powerful.
Hopefully this should allow us to take a hit or two, if need be, of more of that poison. Are we taking those blades? Is that something that's enchanted on them, or were they coated? Because that could prove pretty handy for one of you more quicker ones with a short sword like that.
Oh, don't worry. You see Niles just scooping them up as best as he can without like...
Don't get it in a wound, please. Don't just scoop it. Be careful. Oh my god.
No, it's okay. I got this. It's fine.
Niles, you can add 8 poison shurikens to your inventory if you are taking all of them. If you wanted to share some with Dream, with Bartholomew. Otherwise, Bartholomew, if you're taking the hand crossbow.
Bartholomew, the hand crossbow and the darts are both going to be trash for me, so I'm going to allow him to take the darts, and I'll just have crossbows.
Heck yeah.
Fair enough.
Is the 8 HP maximum, is that temporary? Is that like stacking with the
max HP?
This is max HP. So this is handy because if you do take damage, you can be healed back this amount by other people.
Cool. Excellent.
The one thing I did mention, but it was I think it was accidentally sawn as the throwing stars. What I was mentioning to Niles just then was the swords they were wielding, not the throwing stars.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about
very short blades, dagger-like short blades, almost stiletto-like daggers. Lyra.
If you can't use them, Niles, it could be a good souvenir for Harry. You might be able to add it into his repertoire.
This does look like the type of weapon that Harry would use. Good thinking, Lyra. I'm sure he'll enjoy it when we go and reconnect with him.
Also, not wanting to be too meta, but because Lyra's also been carrying around a sending stone, would she recognize the stone that Ember pulled off the drow?
Oh yeah, it looks a lot like the sending stone you have. I mean, down to the
guys,
rather than the embossed ear, as you hold it up and look at it, you can see the purple lines actually form the outline of a pointy drow ear.
I bet that this sending stone might connect to the sending stone carried by the other set of scouts. I mean, Ember, if you've got another casting of that disguised self, you could disguise your voice as one of these drows, other scouts and report in. Maybe
Or
they found Xeylin, or...
Threign could threaten them, telling them about a very special set of skills that he has.
And threatened the matron again. That was well done, Threign. Yes,
I'm sure they'd respond well to that.
Oh yes.
Yes, I think they learned their lesson.
In either case, though, we are definitely on the good point. Before brought up by Noose and the others, Fifth Noblin, we need to get going. This campsite isn't somewhere that we probably want to be staying the night.
Agreed.
What direction do we go?
You watch as the 3 gnomes sort of go. Yeah, no, we'll direct you. We're not far. Like, this is a good pathway. If we keep heading down towards the edge of the Dark Lake, and then there's a stone bridge. If we turn right across that and just follow that pathway, we'll be at Blindenstone in a couple of hours.
So you told us the direction, so we kind of don't need you any... Kidding. Okay, let's go. And I'm going to jump on Kongchi.
I mean, you're more than welcome to try and get through the gnome traps all by yourself. We'll call out for those of you who are nice to us, but for those of you who are being a bit shit, we'll just have to see. I mean, maybe you'll navigate through them, maybe you won't.
If there's traps left...
You watch as Noose, sort of like her face falls again, and she looks up at you and goes like, It's all right. No, there will be.
Gently smack him across the back of the head. Like, not enough to do damage, but
Before he jumps on
really?
top of Kong Chi.
Yeah.
Perfect. As you guys load up and begin making your way out, Lyra, yeah, I mean, walking next to you, Ember kind of like nods and goes, disguise self, I can make myself look different. I can't do much about the voice.
Ugh.
But do you want me to have a go? See if
Did
I
you
can...
drow impression? or Bart?
Now, this is the
Have
funny
you heard
thing.
much from the drow?
Bart, mechanics-wise, putting on a voice, I feel like would be like a persuasion or a performance, which
Or deception,
I'm very
potentially.
or deception, which I'm very good at. But I'd always seen Bart's performance as only ever like physical dancing, not singing, or like vocal cord-based things. Like I don't have the actor feat. I haven't gone into any dips in that. It's all meant to be about like the dancing aspect of it. So I'm probably just going to rule that no, I wouldn't be good at voices, even with the high performance.
Look, you can still give it a bit of a go. I'd say that your proficiency still applies in this instance.
Okay.
Ember, you've been, pretending to be a drow for the past hour. I mean, can you maybe, coach him with some of those finer points that you picked up from when you were pretending to be Xeylin? Like accent stuff or whatever.
Oh, I'm snobby.
Yeah, I didn't bother with the voice. That's kind of why they found us out, I think.
Yeah, fair. A girl can dream.
Yeah, snobby sounds good. She was a bit of a... I mean, I don't know why, but I keep getting this urge to call her a bitch.
Wait, but no, Lyra, that wouldn't make... Oh, I guess in case I'm just trying to interpret...
Just drow in general,
That's what I was thinking, yeah. I wouldn't be being Lyra, I'd just be being a drow. That guy just sounded sort of dark and serious. I was thinking that I had to do a female's voice. I was trying to... sorry.
No. Just bring out the inner
Well, are we doing that now, or maybe when we're in a safer spot? I don't want more assassins coming to attack us if the communication...
either they're following us and they know we're here already, from that one that escaped.
Oh, actually...
I think we've got some time to burn on the road.
Okay, as we're traveling, I won't just like wing it. I will spend about 5-10 minutes doing vocal lessons with Lyra and Ember, I guess.
Yeah. Could I get you to do
I do actually have something I'm ready to say once we've done that montage.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy for the montage to be as you guys walk along, following the pathway, practicing, getting the vocalizations right. In that case, Lyra, could I get you to please roll me with advantage because Ember's helping? Could you please roll me I'm going to say a persuasion check as you attempt to teach what you've picked up and the intricacies of the Elven language? Because, Bartholomew, do you speak Elvish?
Yes.
Right.
I think it's canon that everyone except Threign speaks Elvish.
I also speak Elvish.
Yeah. I think that's canon.
Also, as we're traveling along, the same as like my attempted joke with a bit of like child naivety of trying to be funny about Blindenstone. As I'm doing the voices, I want to try to cheer everyone up a little bit after the darkness, and hopefully inspire them with as we're traveling for like 10 minutes, give everyone 9 temp HP again.
Oh, cool.
Just
as you
show everyone's spirits a little bit.
As you practice with Lyra and Ember, Lyra rolled 2 19s. We will take a 19. The two of them are able to really, really help you out with this, teaching you the intricacies that you need to know, the kind of nuance of the language that only really a native would understand. That's more from you, Lyra. And then as you hold the stone in your hand, what did you want to say?
Putting in.
You could have talked about this beforehand. All of you could have had a chat about this beforehand, what you wanted to say.
Yeah. So I'll let everyone know. So my plan is I want to mention something. I want it to sound natural. I don't want it to have it be pre-written. A script always sounds bad. I've learned this in experience with some of my father's negotiations. Building rapport more normally and sort of just off the tongue winging it is best in these moments. But I do want to mention something along the lines of like the shadow leader reporting in Xeylin retrieved, head back to Loth's Embrace. As we do know Loth's Embrace. Maybe even Drokar, like mention Drokar's name. use the information that we got from our questioning.
Sounds like a
And
plan.
try to
Lyra
get them to return.
might interject, like if he sort of raises this before, she might sort of be as like, do we really want to bring them on our trail? I mean, we could probably just as easily convince them that she's not here with us, like we didn't find her. And then,
That's my point.
either
Not getting them to come to here, just telling them to head back to Loth's Embrace.
but I mean, if Xeylin's disguised self was anything like Ember's disguised self, that would only last an hour, so
And it's
they were
flawless.
trolling her, but no. Was it like an infinite disguise?
You don't think so?
Yeah. So it's like, assuming that I would guess that they've probably gotten some sort of hide or hair of her by now, just given the durations of the spell. But wouldn't
Here's
it
an
be pretty
idea.
good?
Maybe send them to a location that they're probably never going to find. Xeylin likes getting support from people. Why don't we say that we've found out that Xeylin's destination is the Society of Brilliance Tower?
Hell yeah!
They're never going to find that, or at least it's going to be very
No.
difficult for them.
Maybe something like we caught up with the other adventurers. It wasn't her, but we did torture out of them that Xeylin was going to the Society
And it's
of
deeper in the
Brilliance
Underdark.
Tower.
She plans on going to the surface world. It's in the complete opposite direction.
Again, unless I've already seen her, and then they're just like, she's going to double back. But
It should at least
I
give
think
us
that's
some
as good
days
a
to get
plan as
away.
any.
I mean, that's good
Yeah.
too, because if we happen to, you were saying you're interested in going to the Society of Brilliance. I mean, I don't love the idea of sending a bunch of angry, murderous drow after the Society of Brilliance, but there's a way that we can get there quite quickly and get back quite quickly that only the Svartnebla know. If you wanted to, warn the Society of Brilliance or let them know, give them prep,
They're
you
also
could
pretty
also get
powerful.
them in on the lie as well. They could send them off on a further wild goose chase.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Sounds like a plan. Good.
Harry, this might save your life.
Fingers crossed.
Shadowblade Captain reporting in. Xeylin unfound. Accomplice interrogated. Final destination, Society of Brilliance Tower. Meet en route.
Okay, brilliant. Could you please roll me a persuasion check with advantage, please, Bartholomew? The training from Lyra and Ember really helping to sell this.
Fuck yeah.
I've done it the old-fashioned way. I forgot to double click on it.
That's okay.
but
21?
21 and a
24, please.
24. Alrighty. There's a moment of silence and then a response. Chasing Xeylin towards surface. Confirm. Definitely Xeylin en route.
Now,
I would say en route to Society of en route to Brilliant Tower.
Okay. As that response, now sending stones. This is spoken verbally to everyone around to hear.
You can hear it very quietly. Like
I know a little bit about it, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
say that Bart knows too much. Probably saw Dad using a couple of them, speaking to nearby political parties. Lyra, can we use it again now? Or do we talk right back? How do these work?
Does
Is it-
hers? I think Lyra's has a delay. Isn't it like 24 hours or something? Or
I know my
is it
chess
instant?
piece I can't use too often. Is this the same? How do magic items work?
How do magic items work?
How do magic items work?
I think we got the name of our episode.
Okay, I'll try.
Does it-
Wait, does the sending stone that we have that we were given to by Mira? That's just a free use one, right?
It's yeah. So without giving too much away, the sending stone that you have to Mira is a normal sending stone,
Oh, okay.
but these don't look exactly like that.
Oh,
These do look a bit
Okay.
different.
Oh,
It's that
Okay.
dark,
I'll,
Sounded
dark
like they were
grey,
expecting a reply.
purple rock. It does look a bit different. Yeah, and it did
I'll
sound
look-
like they were expecting a reply.
I'll reply back. I'll attempt to.
plans to double back or something.
You dare question me? Double back, you're being fooled.
Oh no.
For a moment, Bartholomew, there's no response.
Fuck.
Then you hear. Don't forget your place, Captain. We will rendezvous en route to Society of Brilliance Tower. One of them is captured, bringing prisoner en route.
Oh, fuck.
I'll keep it short and sweet. I don't want to be prying too much because it'll come off as suspicious, I think, but that instantly makes me think.
All of you hear that.
Oh, shit.
I'll quickly look towards everyone. Do they mean Harry? I don't think I should ask, but
it has to be. He's the only one unaccounted for.
Ember's like, yeah, if they've got Xeylin, they're not going to be saying we've got one of them. They're going to say we've got Xeylin. You're being fooled.
Okay.
They've been following us for days. They must have. Oh no, they must have.
Okay, I know. I think I know. I think I know. We can't leave too long between replies. Keep him alive. I want to question him myself, Drokar.
The stone doesn't reply.
Fuck.
Silence.
Fuck.
We are assuming it is Drokar that is on the other side of that stone,
yeah.
right?
It was a female voice that responded, correct? Okay. I'm fairly confident.
Wow.
It was a gamble. It was. I'll admit. Bart looks. It was a gamble. I'm sorry, but I'm fairly confident.
I mean,
feel like
you know,
solidified our story if that was Drokar.
The dead captain did say that Drokar was the person to talk to. That would make sense, maybe, like logically, for them to have the other.
I feel like there's no holes in our story now, but that does mean that the Society of Brilliance after Blindenstone, maybe not the Duragar, as we need to retrieve Harry.
Well, we need to save Harry if he's been captured.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to go direct to Blindenstone. If your goal is to get to the Society of Brilliance Tower, there's shortcuts through the Underdark. We can go there quicker.
That rabbit friend of yours has messed things up. The plan for this was to send the drow into a direction that we know would be difficult to find. How the fuck do we find the Society of Brilliance Tower?
We know where it is.
We have gnomes.
We have the gnomes.
We know where it is. It's not far from Blindenstone. There's a secret gnome way to get there quicker.
Yes, I know you said that the other night, but to be honest, I didn't speak because I wasn't trying to be rude. But I don't really believe you.
No. There's. All right, fuck you very much. All right.
Look, fuck you too, Noose. What you knew, you were talking about it, and you were making it sounded as if the tower moved. How can a tower move?
Tower doesn't move. What are you talking about?
Well, I knew of the Society of Brilliance Tower in another direction. So unless a tower crawls along the ground...
There's more than one way to get to a destination. Walking's the worst way. We gnomes try not to. You're out in the open, exposed.
At this point, I'm just gonna put a hand on
Bartholomew's
Bart's shoulder and be like, you know what? I think it's been a bit of a high tense situation for the last couple of minutes here. I think we should all just take a bit of a breather and just I think we're all under a little bit of stress here.
I don't mean too much badness by it. Noose was in the mines for him for a while. You know, I jest here. I jest in the forms of calling names. I am just worried about him. The drow.
Hey guys, from what you... I'm sorry.
Oh no, Ellie, go. Sorry. Lyra, go ahead.
It's so funny hearing Niles' voice being, oh, Ellie, go. It's great.
I was just gonna say, sort of trying to just finding a stick or something and just drawing in the dust and dirt. She's gonna try and sort of get the gnomes to help her sort of put together a bit of a map. It's sort of like, okay, so we're here. We know that Harry and Xeylin were going towards the entrance, so assuming that they're, near the entrance over there, can you draw the most likely path that those drow would likely take to get to the tower, essentially? Because we said we're going to be en route, not at the tower. So we could try and ambush them along that way somewhere.
Yes, and hopefully it's not back through where we are, because that would be a bit problematic.
Unless we could wait here for them. I mean, if they have to come this way anyway, we could set up a bunch of traps and go.
Surely there would be
Home Alone it.
Surely there would be other paths that they could take in the Underdark. It's not just one tunnel. There'd be caverns and other things. But Gookness, what do you think?
Gobbledy raised his hand. I think you'll be actually needing my expertise here. I'm bit of a cartographer myself. Yeah, I helped design and plan out a number of the secret tunnels that the Svirfneblin used to get around this place.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't know, like the back of your hand.
I know the back of my hand a wee bit better. We try not to walk
Why were you so
too
lazy in the mines then? Your digging was lackluster.
Yeah, I know.
I smacks him on the back of the head again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna look. I know where my strengths lie, and splitting rock is not one of them, right? Unless it's to like carve a pathway through for a brand new rail line. As you watch as Gobbledy, like bit of a proud moment, puffs his chest up. He's like all like 3.5 feet of him. Yeah, I mean, don't want to brag.
Niles looks visibly like, oh, good for you. Like very happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can do you one better. Do you one better, Lyra. I've actually, if you can give me a little bit of paper, maybe a bit of charcoal. I mean, I've got a bit of charcoal in my pocket. If you can give me a bit of paper or a surface to draw on, maybe like this stone wall over here, I can sketch out a rough estimation and tell you exactly where the drow are going to be.
Christian, not just Bart, hates this. I went to uni for a couple of semesters for town planning before I dropped out because of how boring as shit it was.
It's funny you mention that this character's based on a guy I met during my masters.
As he's trying to talk about town planning and highway designs being interesting, Bart is just zoning out at this point.
Threign's with you. Threign walks and goes, what is this tiny man talking about? I cannot for this. Like, maps, fine, but boring.
Maybe you and me can actually get behind the group and start hurrying this up a little bit. We should be traveling, right, Threign?
Yeah, I want to know where this big tower is that moves or not moves. But not to waste time with maps and drawing. Just tell us where. Huh? You can't tell us. Clearly you don't know it well enough.
Yes, I agree. I'm going to sort of round Kongchi behind and try to start, ushering everyone.
Oh, hang on. As the kids are saying these days, let him cook.
Well, we can walk and talk, can't we? You not have parchment and charcoal?
I have charcoal, but no parchment.
I don't think anyone has any parchment.
No. Oh, actually, I don't know.
Have a quick peek
charcoal for reagents, but...
Threign, you're grey-skinned and big. Can we draw on your back?
No.
Okay then.
You want me to undress in front of you? Blue-grey, thank you for a start. You want me to undress in front of you and then you try and scrape charcoal on my back to make me filthy?
Yes.
I do have some research notes, but I don't know if there's any blank pieces of paper in them. I took a bunch of them though. There might be something.
Muscle as chiseled as yours is nice and flat.
Actually, you have Davian Hornsorrow's journal.
I do, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of blank pages in the back.
Yeah,
he didn't fill it. He died before he could fill it.
Yeah.
So yeah. As Threign picks up Gobbledy and puts him on his shoulder, then Noose, then Gook. They're like, hey, whoa! I'm supposed to be drawing on a cave wall. No, it's too long. You walk. Or I walk. You ride, I guess. As you guys begin moving along, Niles, you hand up Davian Hornsorrow's journal. Gobbledy pulls out a small stick of charcoal and begins drawing a map for you, Lyra. Now, before we wrap up, I want to jump back to Harry briefly. We're going to come back in with you guys next session. Harry.
Yep.
Your vision slowly begins to return. But it's your hearing and sense of smell that come back first. You smell this damp, musty smell, which for a moment it takes you a little bit of time to almost place before you realize it smells very much like the musky dankness of the Kuatoa cave. And as your hearing returns, you can hear the sound of water dripping on stone and the sound of feet moving. And then as you slowly begin to open your eyes, your vision swimming around you, it's almost entirely pitch black on all sides. But there's a soft glow coming from underneath you, and as you look down, you can see the ground moving underneath you. This semi-transparent, softly glowing material, almost a little bit cool to the touch, pressing against your face as you lie down against it. And as you slowly open your eyes and look around, you can see you're lying, bound and gagged, on a small disc of what almost looks like this soft, pale, glowing glass, hovering above the ground. In front, you see a very familiar sight. The drow in the very elaborate chitinous armor, walking briskly. And as you slowly look up and turn your eyes backwards, you can see 3 more drow walking along behind, keeping pace with her. Suddenly the disc stops for a moment, and out of the gloom, another emerges from the darkness, panting and puffing,
Oh, fuck.
dressed in long flowing robes.
The one that escaped.
You watch as this drow pauses, looks towards the drow in chitin and goes, "He's dead. They killed him. Chopped his fucking head off." And that is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It is wonderful to have you all join us once again. Amazing plan. Just one slight little wrinkle.
Yeah.
I totally whoop.
Yep. It's fair enough. It's absolutely fair enough. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Harry, as you look up, you can see this mage.
I thought we were going to get out in the first place. I didn't expect him to get the sending stones and speak to the other group.
That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. The sending stones was a really, really good idea. And
Oh no,
yeah.
I mean before that. I thought we persuaded our way out.
Oh, that you'd just be able to. You thought you were all clear.
Yeah, I thought 25s. We were pretty convincing.
Oh, you were very convincing.
It was truth. It was lies based in truth.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
they
the
did.
lies to spot.
They ended up doing exactly what Bartholomew suggested, despite the fact that actually the captain, the one that you were, I was calling him captain, it's a Lothsworn drow group, and he's a male. There's no way he's going to be the most powerful person in that group and ordering females.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Because the Lothsworn still are a bit more tiered than the Darmirian drows, than those who worship Darmir.
I did forget about that.
No, that's all good. But that's exactly what the characters do. You're in an unfamiliar location with a culture that you're not
We aren't
versed in. Like,
the drow
this
at
is
all.
exactly the sort of stuff. And this is what makes for such good viewing and so much fun for me as a DM, because this is excellent. Can't wait to see how you guys get out of this one.
Xeylin escaped though.
Well, Harry, did she?
As far as Harry knows, she escaped.
Yeah, I mean, as you look around, Xeylin's not bound and gagged with you on a tensor's floating disc.
You know what I am beginning to wonder though. Like this, we've gone to a lot of fucking effort for this lady. Like, and I'm beginning to think like, did we bet on the wrong horse here? 'Cause I don't know.
It's not as simple as that. You know, I always like to have levels of complexity. It's not as simple as that. There was no betting on the wrong horse here. Like either option was going to be complex, and there's going to be shades of grey here.
Even with the plan going sideways, and Dave, you being taken at the moment, Bart still wanted to help sort of get the jump on the drow, even if the plan had gone a perfect 100% and that guy hadn't survived. So there is the plan of trying to find some form of spellcaster in Blendenstone, or even when we arrive to the Society of Brilliance, they'll definitely have someone, and get them to do a scry on your hair.
Yeah. Getting the hair was a good idea.
Even we're going to be like in my mind's eye, we're going to be at the tower with some sort of divination wizard. We're like, okay, they should be nearby, and then suddenly they see like fucking Menzel Baranzan and a bunch of like noble Gothic houses, and then we'll know. So no matter what, it's going to head in the right direction. Fingers crossed.
I definitely don't think it's as simple as Xeylin bad. These drow good. Like, I don't think it's that simple. But yeah, it's interesting how it's all transpired.
I was imagining instead of on a disc, Harry being like bound on like a spit roast thing.
Well, I mean, I did consider that for a moment, but then that would mean that the drow would have to sully their hands by carrying you, which is not on the cards. Not when Tenser's floating disc does the same thing much easier for them. And it's a spell that gets horrendously underused in D&D. So if I can find a chance to shine a bit of light on some of my favorite fun spells that have no combat function at all.
Tenser's floating disc is one of your favorite spells.
Just because it's like you can do really cool creative.
It's just underused.
It's so underused, and because like it's one of those spells that like if you can be really creative with it, there's a lot you can do with it.
Well, the worst part is people always want to use it, so like parties would like to use it to be able to like traverse over a gap.
Yeah.
The problem is that it needs something underneath it by like 5 feet.
Yeah.
It's just a glorified airport escalator that just goes long ways.
Yeah. It's essentially a litter, but you can use it for some really cool things. One of the things, for example, and this is a massive giveaway. It's good Simon's not here. Simon can cast spells through his familiar. If he was to cast Tenser's floating disc through his familiar, and you were to load up that with like explosives, for example, you could have his familiar fly into a location transporting like a couple of kilos of explosives and then detonate with the flame spirit. Like there's a lot of creative stuff you can do if you start to think outside the box with these spells, and that's why it's one of my favorites, because you can do cool things with it, and it's so underused. How far?
How fast?
How fast? It follows you, however fast you're moving.
Oh, cool.
So there's stuff you can do with Tensers. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming and joining us. We are going to go and raid. I think we'll go raid Corsair's Cove, who are playing, it looks like a single-page TTRPG. So this will be one of their little micro TTRPG nights, which will be great fun. We'll go raid Josh the Pirate. For those of you watching on YouTube or listening to the podcast, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're listening on YouTube and you haven't already. Although if you've made it to, I think this is episode 40, I'm assuming you probably have hit the subscribe button. So thank you so much. Otherwise, we will see you all again for the next episode. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Until then, guys, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.